What's going on, guys? It's Rick from Only Football bringing you the final 2022 season episode of Only Football. It's not the final Only Football episode. It's just the final episode for the 2022 season. Finishing it off with the Super Bowl. Kyle and I are going to be bringing you our predictions, our keys to the game, keys to victory for each team, and things we're going to be looking out for. Let's get it.
Cheers.
I got water. Cheers.
Hell of an intro, and you're right. It is not the end of Only Football, but it is the end of the 2023 season, and it's going to go out with a bang. I mean, you're talking about a game that the whole world is anticipating. Everybody wants to see 400 million people watching at the same time. History being made. 2 black quarterbacks, 2 women flying over the stadium. Yeah. This game is going to be a legendary one. And I'm going to give my predictions towards the end of the episode, but I just want to start by saying we got a good one on our hands. We got a good one.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be probably one of the best matchups. And I feel like we say that for every Super Bowl, but this is truly one of the best matchups. I mean, it's the number 1 seed going against the number 1 seed in each division or in each conference, and 2 of the premier quarterbacks in the game. Jalen Hurts obviously went to the playoffs last year. Patrick Mahomes has been here, done that. So it's such a great game that we've got lined up for Sunday for the Super Bowl. I honestly can't contain myself.
Yeah, and this wasn't something that we talked about in the segments, but I'm going to throw it out there because legacies and legends are born in Super Bowls, but not just winning. And Mahomes is 1-1 in the Super Bowl. And it does feel like, look, I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying 1-2 is not as good as 2-1. And everybody knows how that feels when you're going into week 3 in your NFL season, let's say the Bears, and you're 1-1 and you're like, man, 2-1 would feel a whole hell of a lot better than 1-2. And when you talk about Tom Brady, the only person that comes to mind when I think about could he catch the legacy of Tom Brady, it's Patrick Mahomes. And he's already kind of doing what would be required by going to 5 straight AFC championship. I mean, that's just a remarkable thing that very few, if anyone, has ever done. I think nobody has. So he's doing all the right things, but he needs to win the big game. And I think he's going to have his hands full. And let's get into the segment. What do the Chiefs need to do, and we'll talk vice versa, the Eagles need to do to get the win? Because I do think that, I'll just say the Eagles, I believe, have the better team this year going into the game. However, I do believe there are things that the Chiefs, if they execute and do right, it could lead them to a victory. I'll let you go first. Give me one of your keys to victory.
Okay. One of my keys to victory, and are we just going like any team right now, or are we going to do like 1-1? Okay.
It's like the first things that come to your mind.
Okay. So for me, one of the things that the Chiefs need to do to win, and this is going to be on the defense, is that defense needs to get to the quarterback like they did against Burrow in the AFC Championship game. You saw what happened towards the end of that game, right? They were able to get to him. They were able to really get a key 3rd down sack against Burrow. And it was Chris Jones. Chris Jones wins a lot of matchups inside. Like, not only is he a defensive tackle, but you throw him on the outside, right? And he's able to beat some of those offensive linemen in order to get to the quarterback. That's a big thing for me because the Eagles have probably one of the best offensive lines in the game. And it's been obvious throughout this entire season, even into the postseason. So one of the biggest things is get to the quarterback early, make Jalen Hurts a little scared to either stay in the pocket, to roll out, put that pressure on Jalen Hurts, and the Chiefs can put a huge stop on this offense. Very high-powered offense, by the way, by the Eagles. And they could make a huge impact there, in the trenches.
I totally agree. One of the things that stands out to me about this game is when you look at where the Eagles are, where the Chiefs are best at. Okay. I look at Travis Kelce and I say, okay, Travis Kelce, arguably one of the best wide receivers in history. I would say the best wide receiver, in
Hot.
the league right now. I know I could have held it in, but I'm like, this is a football podcast during Super Bowl week. I'm going to let it out. Travis Kelce's a really good tight end, but Dallas Goddard, he's just really good. So I always say Goodert, is also, you could say, a top 3 tight end. The only tight end you can really compare, you're talking about like a pure tight end all around, run blocking, chipping in the pass blocking game, route running, catching, yards after catch. Dallas Goddard is up there, maybe only I think of wow, I'm drawing a blank right now. San Francisco. Help me out.
Kittle.
George Kittle.
Yeah.
I'd say only George Kittle is, I would say, as well-rounded. Travis Kelce's a better pass, catcher and stuff like that. And he'll get up and run block. But this is my point, is that everywhere I look where the Chiefs have the edge, I see the Eagles and I'm like, but okay, Travis Kelce. Okay, but Dallas Goedert, he's right there. Okay, and you got Patrick Mahomes. Okay, Jalen Hurts, wherever you want to do, he's definitely down here, but he's not down here. Like this isn't like when your boy started the Super Bowl in 2005 or whenever it was. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Yeah. And then you look at the defensive tackle, right? With Jones for the Chiefs, and then you see, okay, the Eagles have 4 guys on the line. They got over 40 sacks, or I think 50 sacks actually. So here's what I'm going to say. It looks like the Eagles have a Pro Bowl roster, and everywhere that you give the edge to the Chiefs, as far as the roster goes, the Eagles aren't that far behind, which is very concerning for the Chiefs, because usually if you want to have like a shot, you got to be like, hey, but look how bad their quarterback is and look how good we are.
Yeah.
Everything that highlights the Chiefs' way, the Eagles are right there. And then all the weaknesses on the Chiefs, the Eagles don't have them. So it's like a little concerning. So I'm going to say, whether it's Travis Kelce or McCole Hardman or Juju Smith, I'm going to say, if the Chiefs are going to have a chance to win this game, that Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts difference, I said, it needs to be here. And what I mean is, Mahomes is going to have to play like an MVP. He cannot go out in this game and he cannot have I'll put it this way. Patrick Mahomes is going to have to play the best Super Bowl game he's ever played up to this point. He will not win with the past performances. The way he played against the 49ers or the Bucks will not get the job done in Arizona in 2 days. He's going to need to go out there and play at a level that he is capable of, but we haven't seen on a Super Bowl yet. And I'm not saying Mahomes shrinks. I'm saying the game is big. It's tough. There's a lot of nuances to a Super Bowl. The halftime show's 45 minutes. The TV commercial breaks are longer. Sometimes it's really emotional and people go out really fast in the first quarter and get winded late in the game. There's a lot of things that I'm expecting in a third Super Bowl Mahomes is going to start figuring out. And he's going to have a really tough task with that defense of the Eagles. But I'm going to start with what I believe to be the most important factor, especially for Chiefs Kingdom. If they're going to have a shot, Mahomes is going to have to play at an MVP level, and he's going to have to be the clear best player on the field Sunday.
Definitely. I agree. And you point to the games that he was playing. One against the Bengals. The Bengals were very, very good in the conference championship, right? Look, now we will say that he did have that ankle injury, right? So I mean, I think that's a good thing to kind of mention in that, but it was
Yeah.
still not his best game, and luckily their defense, which I had mentioned, was able to keep them in those games, and I think that was a huge part of why Mahomes was able to kind of get towards in scoring position there towards the end. But you're right, Mahomes needs to just absolutely go crazy within his, I guess, within his I don't want to say go crazy by just like making these crazy throws or trying to make big plays happen, but go crazy as far as like getting these effective plays done, getting the ball to his receiver, making sure that it's a positive play and it's moving the chains, and that if he does have the opportunity for a big play, take that shot there. I'm not going to sit here and say, don't let Mahomes be Mahomes, because that's exactly what got him here, right? That's exactly the reason why they're here, is because of Mahomes. But you said it perfectly. He has to play one of the best games of his entire life in this Super Bowl, because the Eagles are a very, very complete team. And then real quick, let's get to the comments here. We got Philly Sports Talk Podcast. What up? How's it going? Cheers. And of course,
Good week to be a
Jinja.
Philly fan.
I know, right? It really is. Jinja, what's up, dude? Cheers to
Ginge,
Jinja.
good to see
He's
you, brother.
He said he just got back from his daddy-daughter dance. It was lit. I'm glad to hear that. Good. That's awesome, Ginger.
I
Love it.
think that the movie where the stepdad what it's Will Ferrell and he's the stepdad with Mark Wahlberg, and they go to the daddy daughter dance, and like the daughter starts like break dancing and rapping. I think it's Kendrick Lamar. Anyway,
Oh yeah,
it's a
I
great
like
movie.
that. I remember seeing that scene. So Philly's got well, it's more of a statement. Kelsey's the best tight end in the league. Do you? So, and that's what you were talking about. I guess like in terms of players, right? You're like a complete roster on the Chiefs, but the Eagles are not far behind. I mean, would you agree with Kelsey the best tight end in the league?
Yeah, I would say Travis Kelce is the best tight end in the league because of Patrick Mahomes. So yeah.
Okay, I could see that.
I do think if George Kittle, okay, it depends what you're looking at. Like on the
Mm-hmm,
outside looking in, Travis Kelsey, when it comes to yards, catches, and touchdowns, is
mm-hmm.
unparalleled to anybody in the league. But if you're a head coach and you care about the details and things like that, um, there is something really special about what George Kittle does as a tight end, an old school run block, the
Mm-hmm.
chipping, a lot of the stuff that just goes unseen, the IQ on the field. It's not sexy stuff that's going to make people go in this debate, oh, George Kittle's the best tight end. They're just not
Yeah,
going to do it.
yeah,
But I mean, I do believe if George Kittle had the kind of chemistry that Mahomes has with Travis Kelsey, that George
yes,
Kittle would be the best tight end in the league, and I would still say it's just tier 1A and 1B. It's not really like it's apples and
yeah.
oranges. Like pick your poison.
And I think it's a little tougher for Kittle in the terms of he's had three quarterbacks this season.
Yeah.
He had one last season, but again, like Jimmy G isn't Mahomes or that, right? Like it's not that. And then it was like, well, is it him? Is it Trey Lance? And now is it Purdy? Is it Trey Lance? Is it Jimmy G? You know what I mean? So we will give him a little credit there. Jin just saying, would you rather have Goddard or Kelsey? Easy question, Kyle.
Yeah, Travis Kelsey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely,
I
absolutely,
think
for sure.
Goddard has the ceiling though.
You think so?
It's Travis Kelsey is considered the best, and it's
Mm-hmm.
hard to argue because other guys aren't having this opportunity to play with Mahomes. But then you have to go George Kittle and then Goddard, and
Yeah,
Goddard is in his is it third year, second year? Like he
yeah.
hasn't even tapped into his full potential. And we've seen tight ends as far as positional transitions. What the hell was that? It sounded like my dog just threw up.
Oh no.
He's fine. I don't know what he did. But as far as transitional positions go, tight end, there's a learning curve going into the NFL. Very rarely do you see a tight end get drafted in the first year. He just like gets it. Like you see
Yeah.
that third year jump where it's like, okay, he's whiffing on blocking. He's not understanding that whatever simple, college offense scheme that they ran, the offense is extremely more complex and
Mm-hmm.
and it takes some time. So I would say time stamp this conversation we're having, and let's revisit that in about 3 years. And I think Goddard will be 1A-B, 1A-C, 1A-A. Like it's,
I
I
like
really
that.
think.
I like that. Okay, so getting back into the segment here, I've got one for the Eagles, and they so this is something that they were able to do easily against the 49ers, and the 49ers defense was not some defense that was just like, yeah, they're just some fucking mid-tier defense, right? They were a top defense. They were able to run the ball very, very well against the 49ers. And just for some stats here, Kenneth Gainwell, 14 carries, 48 yards. Sanders, 11 for 42 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jalen Hurts was able to run for 39 yards and a score. Even Boston Scott got 21 yards and a touchdown in that game. And this is again, I don't know if I can say this enough, but that 49ers defense was so good. So if they can do, if the Eagles can establish that run the way they did against the 49ers, I think they can really open themselves up to now what's his name, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, and Dallas Goedert in the passing game. I you know what I mean? Like I feel like if they can do that effectively, exactly like they did to the 49ers, it's gonna be, it might even be a slaughter. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean, but let me push back a little bit
No.
because because as a person that has had no offense, the league's worst offense historically in a long time, I understand that things are going to happen to your defense because they're on the field too long.
Yeah.
So I would say that game against the 49ers, I wouldn't judge the Eagles' success against a winded 49ers defense because they weren't able to have a quarterback. Like, yeah, without a quarterback, I mean, the Eagles stole the time of possession and the defense eventually, and you saw they bend, but they didn't break until the end of the game. And then eventually you got some of those points there at the end, but it was hard fought. It was a hard fought first half, considering, and I mean, that's what we were thinking. We're like, dude, they could go into halftime down 7 without having a quarterback the whole first half. That's pretty impressive. So I will say I'm not going to really judge. And that's what's tricky because the Eagles, they're smart. They have Jalen Hurts, but they're not gonna use that as a measuring stick moving forward. Like, hey, we got 20 whatever they got against the 49ers. That means we should be able to get this much against the Chiefs. I will say the Eagles at the line of scrimmage are the bullies of the NFC. Jordan Kelsey and that offensive line, which maybe Philly Sports can let us know. I think he had an offensive lineman go down in the 49ers game, and I don't know if he got healthy and he's back in. I got to look at the injury report, but regardless, they have a really strong offensive line, and I'm looking at the line of scrimmage. I think that this is probably the most unattractive, truest part of this game is the line of scrimmage. The battle at the line, you could almost say, is who's going to win the game. If there's no time for Mahomes and that ankle is still not at 100%, he's not going to have the ability and the pressure. Very much like the Chiefs, the pressure doesn't come from the outside. It will, but they also have pressure up the middle with that front four. And you think of Chris Jones on the Chiefs, where Joe Burrow, his thing was to step up into the pocket, and it wasn't working because the pressure comes from the middle of the pocket. So it's going to be really interesting to see how Philly's offensive line holds up. And look, I think what they're going to do is I think Philly's going to go out there and much like I think you were just alluding to, I think they're going to pound the ball and they're going to dominate the line of scrimmage and they're going to set the tone. And then that's going to open up Hurts to tuck it. And then he's going to become a factor. And then he's going to have a play that's going to be, okay, fake handoff. He's going to look like he's running it. And I think Goddard has 2 touchdowns in this game. I'm not even kidding.
Wow, really? Wow.
Yeah, I'll put that as my first bold prediction.
Count it.
If they don't know who Goddard is today, by Monday morning, he's going to be I mean, everyone's going to know who he is by Monday. But the line of scrimmage is another one of my keys to victory. Kind of
And
like you said.
and Philly sports saying we have depth all around. So they've got depth. They really do. The Eagles have depth. Like it's crazy depth how much depth they have, and to have the season that they're having, and in order to be able to like plug and play some people. I mean, you look at the defense too. They were able to pick up Ndamukong Suh after their guy Jordan went down a little bit, right? Like they were able to plug and play these guys, and now again they're in the Super Bowl, so they're able to make those adjustments. Saying that though, with the fact that the Eagles line is they're bullies, they can tire out the defense, like you said. Jalen Hurts can tuck it. Next thing you know, he's going around the defense, and now it's kind of like the defense is tired. Now they're not going to get to Hurts. Hurts is getting first downs. He's scoring touchdowns, things like that. What do you think? What do you think? Let's kind of just I'll just put this scenario out there. Who has the better second half adjustments if they're down? Like if Kansas City is going to the halftime show down a
That's a good
score
question.
and they are getting beat at the line, are they do you think they're able to make that second half adjustment? And the Eagles, if they can't establish the run against the defense for the 49 the Chiefs, for example, Chris Jones is getting to Hurts. It's just they're bullying him like they did Burrow. Are they able to make that second half adjustment?
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no because when I think of, okay, hey, they're running this defense. If we run some of this, it'll force them to do this. When I think of adjustments, I think of stuff like that. But when you're talking about the line of scrimmage, I just don't know if there's all that much that can be done if the Eagles are out there just bullying them. You know, I mean, they could get a pep talk, they could get a speech, they could go out there with heart, but it's the Super Bowl. Like, you don't need a pep talk. Everybody knows what's at stake.
Yeah.
And everybody wants a ring. And look, the one thing that I thought the Chiefs would have on the Eagles when I thought of Jalen Hurts was the Super Bowl experience, because we talked about it. It's a different game.
Yep.
But there are people on that Eagles team that have been to the Super Bowl. So I think sometimes it's an overrated thought that, you need a quarterback that's been there. I think you just need players that have been there. I think that's what you need. And coaches that know what it's like, so that they can teach them some of these things that we've been talking about. But as far as like adjusting to the physical dominance, I don't know if there's a way to kind of elude that, right? I mean, you can try different, I don't know what they call it. I was never an offensive lineman, but hey, I'm going to drop back and get this guy, and you're going to come this way and get the inside. I mean, they could try different things, but the thing is once the Eagles get rolling, like they're rolling, they're a freight train, and they're not going to stop. But that's where Mahomes kind of comes in handy, because Mahomes is the one quarterback that when you think you got him, he's like, no ball.
Yeah.
Like
that's crazy.
They're like, no, and they throw him down, and he's like, no ball. And then somebody's running that way. Like Mahomes can do that. And I think there's gonna be, with that kind of a bull rush, there's gonna be some backyard football being played. And it's gonna be a fun game. But you just have to ask yourself, are the Chiefs outmatched? And there's no shame in that. Like I said, other people will judge Mahomes' legacy. I mean, look at LeBron. He went to all these finals, and they're like, MJ 6-0. It's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
But like,
damn right.
But that's all that is like. But that is like all that people care about. Like nobody cares why you were 1-3. Like nobody cares that the year LeBron took Cleveland to the finals was literally, he was the only player on that entire team, and he just single-handedly did that. I mean,
carried it. Yeah.
And nobody gives MJ a lot of shit unless they're LeBron fans for having Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman and all those guys. All they
Yep.
say is 6-0.
Yeah.
And like I'm not I'm actually on the Jordan side of this, but
Hmm.
I bring it up because that's what people care about. They care about how many times you've won, and if Mahomes goes 1-2, no one's gonna say the Eagles were loaded, right? Years will go by, and just like nobody's talking about Tampa,
Hmm.
um, being Tom Brady or whatever the case is, which was kind of crazy because Tom Brady got in the way of Mahomes' first Super Bowl in that overtime
He
game.
did. Yeah.
And then Mahomes got to the Super Bowl and and played Tom Brady. And that was like a rematch. And Tom Brady was like, I think Tom Brady's 2-0 against Mahomes. Don't quote me on that. But I think Tom
And
Brady never lost to Patrick Mahomes.
really, oh wow,
Yeah,
that's
because didn't
gotta look
he?
into that.
Yeah, I think he like went to this, or maybe that 1 year after they won the Super Bowl against
Hmm.
the Rams.
Hmm.
Unless they played that year, then because then he went to the NFC. So we'll look into that. But
For sure.
like, I just I I know we're getting towards prediction time, but
Hmm.
I think this is going to be an extremely difficult game for the Chiefs. I think that they're going to have their hands full, and the only thing that if you're a Chiefs fan, you're just crossing your fingers on is that the moment's too big for Jalen Hurts. And
Yeah. Yeah.
I think you're asking for a lot if
For
that's what
sure.
you're wishing. If you're wishing for Jalen Hurts inexperience to ruin the game, I would say wish in one hand and shit in the other and see which one fills up first. Because I think Jalen Hurts will be prepared and poised for this game.
Yeah, I mean, you saw him in the conference championship, and even against the Giants, he looked what was it, focused and
Yeah,
ready for those games. He didn't look like all over the place or anything. So
he's the real deal.
yes, absolutely. Let's move on with that. Let's move on to the next segment here. And this is similar to what to do to win, but there's more individual. Well, like key matchups or maybe key individuals that we are kind of looking at to see if they'll make a big difference, or players that we think that need to make a big difference in this game. And I mean the obvious ones, right? Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts. Like off the bat, they need to play. You said it earlier about Hurts and Mahomes. They need to play the most perfect game they can at the Super Bowl, in the biggest stage of their NFL careers. Mahomes has been there and has been able to do it. Can Hurts do it? Is he, like you said earlier, like is the moment too big for him where he might sputter a little bit? But really, these two guys really need to play the best football, the most perfect football they've ever played.
Yeah.
I heard an interview, because I'm part of my take, with Lane Johnson, and what was really cool was Lane Johnson said, or they asked Lane Johnson, they're like, does Hurts do this, like, sort of like, does he talk to the guys? Does he give like big rah rah speeches type of thing? And he's like, the best example of what Hurts uh, is the preacher from Ivory Christian from Friday Night
Yeah.
Lights, and it's like he
Yeah.
doesn't talk a lot.
They
He's
sweat
very
just
to
like we
himself.
do. They play just like we do. They went through
Exactly.
2 days. We went through 2 days at 109-degree weather. Tell me.
Exactly. And that's what he said. He's like, he is just like him. He's like, that's the best example I can give as far as like what kind of guy Jalen Hurts is. Um, and I thought that was really cool. I thought that was like a really cool little insight thing that not a lot of people get to experience, because
I love that.
it shows that he's a leader, and he doesn't, like, he may not speak a lot. He may not be that type of, maybe like Brady Manning, where he's screaming at his guys on the sidelines, something like that with a competitive edge. But when he
Oh, he
speaks,
will.
people
He'll get
listen.
there. He'll get
Yeah, I
there.
think he'll get there. But as of
Yeah.
right now, it's just cool to be like, when he speaks, people listen, because what he says is coming from a competitive and emotional side, and it's important.
Yeah. I don't know why, but I almost get chills when you say that because I think of
Hmm.
Jalen Hurts and the way you approach the game has a lot to do with how you carry yourself on the field.
Mhm.
And when I think of somebody that is quiet like Preacher Man, I think
Mhm.
of somebody that just understands the task at hand and is locked in. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like when you just have that focus where you're so pulled into the moment that you don't need a rah-rah speech, right?
Mhm.
You can literally look at your boys in the eyes and no words need to be said, right? Or you
Mhm.
can literally just, you ready? All right, let's go. And
Yeah.
that's it. I'm getting goosebumps right now because that is like the epitome of leadership, right?
Mhm.
Is that you
Mhm.
don't need to say anything. And the fact that Jalen Hurts has gotten to that point so fast is truly remarkable.
Mhm.
And it is another one of the reasons that I think after Sunday he'll be considered a top 5 quarterback in the league. You're talking about a guy that's got over 100 plays that are designed runs. He's not
Mhm.
even just a quarterback. He's a runner. He's a running back. And not
Mhm.
only is he a running back, but people have been like, oh, Lamar Jackson, he's a running back that can throw. Well, Lamar Jackson in his own right is a passing quarterback, right? But people will
Yep.
still say that. But nobody says that about Jalen Hurts. Everybody knows that Jalen Hurts is a quarterback that can run the ball, which changes a lot
Mhm.
because the way he's built is not very injury prone. Like he's a tank when he gets moving,
Yeah.
right?
That dude squats like 600 pounds. He's ridiculously strong.
Yeah, and that's why when I thought about Jalen Hurts in the league, I was like, oh, the MVPs, Eagles are going to be good. It's because Jalen
Yeah.
Hurts is as if Tim Tebow could throw, right? It was like
Yeah.
if you somehow were able to put an arm on Tim Tebow and more speed,
Mhm.
that's like who Jalen Hurts is, and that just sounds like you're building a juggernaut on create a Madden player, like
99 overall.
yeah, and yeah, man. I agree. It's going to come down to that matchup. And unfortunately, though, I don't think it's necessarily going to be about who's the better quarterback on Sunday because I think there's going to be a lot of other factors. I don't think that Mahomes or, excuse me, I don't think Hurts is going to have to deal with the same type of problems that Mahomes is going to have to deal with.
Mhm.
So, although Jalen Hurts may look better on the field on Sunday, I think that it could just be about the team, a
Mhm.
collective thing, right?
Mhm.
Um, you talk about my one of my key matchups, okay? And this kind of rolls right into it. The Chiefs have given up the most passing touchdowns of any team in the league, and the Eagles have the best pass defense in the NFL. So I'm looking at, will the Chiefs defense be able to stand up against that challenge of the Philadelphia Eagles secondary?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and look, when it comes to stats, sometimes they're pumped up, sometimes they're like there's a story behind every stat. And that is the truth. And that you can make any stat like work for an argument. And you and I have
Yeah.
done this with Mahomes and
Absolutely.
Burrow. Oh, but he's
Absolutely.
66%. And you're like, yeah, but he played 1% of the games. It's like
Yeah. Yeah.
um, but when you look at the Eagles' best pass defense in the NFL, a huge part of that is not a coincidence that they have the best front four. Okay,
Mhm.
so let's say quarterbacks have less time to throw the ball, they're getting sacked, they're making bad throws, the completion percentage is being diminished because of that
Mhm.
front four. And the defense, any honest cornerback, defensive back, safety, strong safety, free safety will tell you that it's the big guys up front that like especially a cornerback that's, let's say, leading the league in picks, right?
Mhm.
Like Justin Simmons had the tie for most picks and he missed like 4 games. And the first thing he said was, "Oh, it's the pressure. Once the pressure gets there, quarterback makes a bad throw and then I get to benefit from it. I just catch the ball." It's like,
Mhm.
honestly, it's easy.
Yeah.
So when we talk about, will the Chiefs defense be able to hold up, I'm looking at that offensive line and I'm like, look, if the Chiefs can get pressure on Hurts, then maybe they can. But A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Goddard are some serious weapons, and they're going against the league's worst pass defense as far as touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
So it just right off the bat, that's something I circle and I go, okay, what can we do to change this? Obviously, we can't throw in different players. Eric Spagnuolo is the defensive coordinator, and he's very creative. He's really good at changing things up. You got Ladarius Snard and what's his name? I wrote it down here. Ladarius Snard and Trent McDuffie. Okay, they're going to be the ones covering Devontae Smith and AJ Brown. Yeah, obviously you can only do so much, but I'm looking at maybe finding different ways to blitz, different ways to try to just do whatever you can, man, because the Chiefs do not have a good secondary, and the Eagles have the best offense in the NFL. So
yeah,
I'm telling you, this is matchup hell for the Chiefs. It really is.
It is.
Like, you got like really good and really bad, and then the only good things you have are Mahomes and Kelsey, and it's like Goddard and Hurts. Now, you know, that's kind of the full circle. What I was trying to say in the beginning is like, I don't know how well this is going to go.
For sure.
Like Super Bowl 48.
Which one was that one?
43-8.
Yeah, that one was bad. Let's quickly get to some comments here. Philly Sports is saying our coaching staff has developed a playbook to his strength. Speaking about Jalen Hurts, and it shows. They've done a really good job with that. And then Jin just saying Jalen's story is a really good one. Losing his position to a younger guy, coming back, killing it for another college, then killing it in the NFL. You know, you can't help but like that story.
Yeah.
And the only thing I will say again, you know, against your point, matchup wise,
we're fighting.
Absolutely. Argument of the week. No, I'm just kidding.
With Kyle and Rick
for the OGs and the anybody listening for the OGs.
No, I don't think we had even one follower then, man.
We had a couple listens here and there. What I will say is the Eagles have not gone against the quarterback like Mahomes, like the entire season, even into the postseason, right? Like clearly,
the Cowboys.
No, even you hate Dak Prescott. That's what I will say, right? Like Patrick Mahomes can make things work, like you said, right? Like he's a fucking magician. He'll be like getting tackled by one of the defensive guys by Philly, and he'll be like, no ball, got your ass, you know, something like that. So it'll be funny. It'll be, you know, that kind of stuff is funny. I think they're gonna have their hands full with a guy like Mahomes, with what he can do. And again, they haven't gone up against a guy like Mahomes, and I feel like it can get a little tough. Now, what I will agree to your point is they, like you said, they have some of the best passing defense in the NFL, and that kind of leads me into like one of the guys that a couple of the guys that I'm really looking at, and that is Marquez Valdes-Scantling and Travis Kelce. These two guys really, really need to be able to do what they did against the Bengals, right? Scantling got 116 yards and 6 receptions on a touchdown. Kelce 78 yards on 7 receptions and a touchdown. Like these guys were able to get open, make plays, and get in the end zone. And those are the two key guys that he really keyed in on against the Bengals in that game.
Yeah.
Pacheco was huge in the passing game as well for 59 yards and 5 receptions. I think he's going to be even bigger. I think he should be a bigger player as far as like in the run game, because I mean he's a running back. But I mean with Mahomes at quarterback, you're able to open that up to dumping it off to Pacheco to get those 5-6 yards maybe that you need on a second down or into a third down, something like that. But who I'm really looking forward to in this game is like the I don't know how to say it. They need to replicate their production against the Bengals is Travis Kelce and Marquez Valdes-Scantling.
The Packers scored 33 on the Eagles.
Yeah, they did.
You know,
Yeah.
33-40. I mean, I just went through the schedule
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, who do they play? Nobody.
Yeah.
It's like,
And that's what I mean. Like Mahomes is going to be such a tough task for them.
look at this. Look at
They're
this
a good team,
schedule.
but it's a tough task.
And there's some good teams, but now that the season's over, we kind of know who's who, right?
Yes. Yep.
So it's like Lions, Vikings. I would say those are two good teams, but
Mm-hmm.
they won.
Mm-hmm.
Commanders, Jaguars, Cardinals, Cowboys, Steelers, Texans, Commanders, Colts, Packers, Titans, Giants, Bears, Saints, Giants,
Yeah.
Cowboys.
The best defense was the
Who's the
Cowboys.
best quarterback they played? Kirk Cousins?
The best quarterback was
Aaron
Kirk Cousins
Rodgers.
or
Aaron Rodgers, and
he
he
was
scored 33 on them.
yeah, he was definitely the
Oh,
best
Jordan
quarterback to
Love
win it.
came in too.
He did. You're right.
Yeah,
Him,
Jordan
I
Love.
would say they went up against Aaron Rodgers, Kirk Cousins, and Dak Prescott. So I mean, Aaron Rodgers, obviously a Hall of Famer, but didn't have the best season in the world. Like a
He
prime.
balled on that game though.
He did. He did. He had a really good game against the
He
Eagles.
got hurt in the first half.
And that's why Jordan Love came in, right?
Yeah, and Jordan Love played good. I think he left officially like in the middle of the third. But
Yeah.
so let me ask a smarter question. Do the Eagles rise to the occasion? I mean, it's so easy for us to just get caught up in the mismatch and stuff like that. But once in a while, this happens where you look back on a whole year and you go, oh, there's not even one Mahomes in here. There's not even a Joe Burrow in here. There's not a Josh Allen in here.
Yeah.
There's not, wait, who's your top five? None of them are in here. And now you're going to go straight to the juggernaut. You're going to go to the man himself, Patrick Mahomes. And he may just want to say a little reminder to everybody that I'm still here, right? You guys are really good. In your own right, you deserve to be here. You can only beat who's on your schedule. But, and I'm talking to me as, Mahomes would probably be talking to me because I'm one of the people that, like I said, I would pick the Eagles probably to win this game by a big margin. Well, when you look at the schedule, they're not battle tested.
That's right.
They're not battle tested. The playoffs are hard. But even their NFC Championship game, they were catered in, but they didn't play. They got a bye week in the NFC Championship game, and then
how can you ignore that? You know what I mean? Like these are just those certain things, and I feel like that's just a big one in the NFL in general. Is like, can the Eagles rise to the occasion? Like you said, that's the even better question to ask. Can they rise to the occasion against a top 5 quarterback when they've played maybe a top 10 to 15 quarterback, in the regular season and even into the postseason?
Yeah. So are you ready to talk about that?
Do you want to go into our predictions?
Man, I'm talking myself out of my prediction. Like as I go on.
Real quick before that, let's go into a couple of these one of these comments here by Philly. He's like, we've got good edge rushers, Hassan Reddick and Josh Sweat. Absolutely. That's what Philly's got going for them. Their defense is super good. Jalen Hurts is good. The offensive line is good. And that's why I love this matchup so much, which will lead us into our final segment is our predictions, right? This is why I love this matchup so much. These are the top 2 teams, and they each have things on each side where it's like, these guys are good and can win. We just talked about the Eagles not going up against Patrick Mahomes. The best quarterback on a really good day they went up against was Aaron Rodgers when he put 33 up on them, right? The best defense they've gone up against was probably the 49ers. And even at that point, it was a little tough to judge because of the non-quarterback play that was happening in that game. And if you want to go before that in the regular season, it was the Cowboys, right? Like that was probably the best defense they went up against. So there's just so many factors that go into this game, and that's why I love this one so much. But let's roll right into our Eagles versus Chief predictions. Kyle, you seem like you're ready to go, man. So I'm gonna hand it off to you first.
I wrote down in detail what I
Okay,
have
like
here,
this.
okay?
I like this.
At the end of the first quarter, the score will be Kansas City 10, Eagles 0. So a 10-0 ball game.
Okay.
In the second quarter, the Eagles will score 13 points and the Chiefs will score 14. So it'll be 24-13. Okay?
Okay.
Then the third quarter, the Chiefs will score no points. Okay? And the Eagles will score 11 points. Okay?
Okay. What is that? Is that a touchdown, 2-point conversion, and field goal?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
no, that's a touchdown. Yeah, touchdown,
Yeah.
2-point conversion, and a field goal or safety.
Okay. Oh, okay.
And
Okay.
then the Eagles will score 13 points in the fourth quarter, and the Chiefs will only score 10. I got the Eagles 37-34.
I love that you broke it down by quarter. I love that you did that. I was not prepared for that. I think the Eagles are technically the home team in this game, right?
I even
Or is
got the
it
time of the game.
what's
It's
the
going to
time of the
be
game?
3 hours and 37 minutes long.
Oh, he's hitting them. He's hitting them. What do you call those bets? Those
No, this is just for fun.
No, but those are those type of bets. What do you call them? Oh my God, there's a name associated to them
Like
where you're like,
specific bets.
yeah, where you bet the coin toss, you bet how long the
I don't know
national
what those are
anthem.
called. I hate those because it's
Yeah,
like you
yeah,
really have no control over it. It's not
yeah,
like
yeah.
betting the winner. It's like heads or tails. Why don't you just go play a scratch off?
It's like will the opening kickoff be a touchback? Will they bring it out?
Yeah,
Will it be for a
yeah. Those are
touchdown?
the
Things like
worst
that.
things to bet on.
Okay, so I like that. I like that. What? Okay, I'm gonna do you one a little bit better. The Chiefs are going to receive the kickoff, score on their first drive to make it 7-0. The Eagles will score a field goal on their first offensive drive, and the Chiefs will then score a field goal. So it'll be 10-3 Chiefs in the first quarter. Now, the Eagles in the second quarter will score a touchdown. The Chiefs will score a field goal, and the Eagles will score a wait, no, I fucked myself over. I said field goal, touchdown. Yeah, it's going to be 13-13 going into the halftime. It's going to be 13-13 going into halftime. Third quarter is going to be somewhat of a snoozer, I think. I think they really go maybe like I think the Eagles will score a touchdown, make it 20-13. The Chiefs come back with a field goal, so it'll be 20-16.
Wow.
In the fourth quarter, the
Who's
Eagles
gonna win? I'm starting to feel it.
the Eagles will score a touchdown in the fourth quarter to make it 27-16. The Chiefs will score a touchdown to make it 27-23. The Chiefs will replicate what they did against the Bengals and have a huge stop on third quarter against the Eagles to get the ball back with the with the ball in Mahomes' hands in the final minutes. And I'm talking maybe like 3.5 to 4 minutes. They go down the field, score the game-winning touchdown to Travis Kelce to win it 30-27.
No!
Chiefs win. Chiefs
No!
win 30-27.
No!
Chiefs win it 30-27.
What?
Mahomes gets his second Super Bowl. There is no more. Is he going to have a dynasty talk? It is Mahomes and the Chiefs dynasty with Andy Reid. Travis Kelce and Mahomes get their second Super Bowl ring in 4 years or 5 years.
Okay. The Eagles are winning this game by 14. You know, I had to mute my microphone because my girlfriend came in the room and I put concentrated Simple Green in a coconut water and she took a sip out of it and had to spit it out. I feel like you drank Simple Green right now, coming up with some prediction like that. Like,
don't you love it though?
That's poison control. Are you okay?
Whoever's watching right now, you saw Kyle go like, "This is the most intense quarter by quarter, touchdown by
I'm like,
touchdown. You're like, oh my god, oh my
then what happens?
god.
Tell me.
So I've, like I said, I've got the Chiefs winning 30-27. And look, there's a lot of things that the reason why I have like this, and the big one is Mahomes, man. It's just he's so damn good. The Eagles have not gone up against a quarterback like this, and I'm sorry, Philly sports talk, but that's who I got, right? Like you guys have a great defense, a very like probably one of the most complete teams in the NFL. And I think you guys will go up like late into the game, 27-16, like I said, and going into the fourth. But I think the Chiefs are able to again do what they do best, kind of like what Brady does in fourth quarters, late in games. He's able to march down the field and get the win.
Do you think it's better? Like you're a Bears fan. Do you think it's better for your team if somebody in your division wins the Super Bowl? Does it like prove that you're like the best division, or is it like doesn't matter? Because I always think like if the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, I'm like, well, at least everybody knows like who we have to play twice a year.
Yeah, that's true. And I kind of do like it from that point of view, but it's also like when the Tampa Bay Bucks won, like they're in the NFC South, like who's in the NFC South? Like who like does it really make that division better when they won it? You know what I mean? Like it was the Jaguars, it was the Colts. They weren't that good. They were okay, but I mean they weren't that good. Simply from a Bears fan take, if the Packers win the Super Bowl, I just hate them even more. I just hate that even more.
I can't get over this, man. I promised I wasn't going to fight with you, but I'm going to fight with you. How does Trevor Lawrence throw a flat to a wide receiver that if he catches that ball, they're down 3 with 5 minutes left with their timeouts, and he catches the ball, makes a football move, and then just tries to tuck it and just drops it. Chiefs win. And then the next week, the late penalty, we're not going to rehash that, but there was a late penalty in that game, and it was a bad move by the Bengals, but it was a late penalty, and that's why they got to field goal range.
Yeah.
And now you're saying they're just going to beat the Eagles, who this might be the best all-around football team ever.
Okay.
I'm saying I don't know the last time I looked at a team and was like, yep, there's not a weakness. Not only is there not a weakness, there's no average. What's average? Like name one position group that you're like average. Best pass defense. Best only front four with 10 sacks. Jalen Hurts, unparalleled to a lot of quarterbacks with what he can do. The running game, the nastiest offensive line in the league. Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, and then you throw in the top 3 tight end. I don't know how anybody has a chance to beat this team. And not only that, I don't even think the Eagles have a chance to keep their team. Like, this is unrealistic. This team is going to break up. They're obviously found themselves in a really comfy window right now, and they're going to capitalize, and it's not going to be a pretty game. And I wanted to build the suspense, but then you come out here and you pick the Chiefs, and I can't. I got to take the poker face on. You're smoking crack, man.
What? Look, those are solid points. Those are very solid points, but there's a reason the Chiefs have been here 3 times. There's a reason they're 5-time AFC championship, game hosts, right? Like there's a reason for that. Now look, their team right this year is not the best, but they're here, dude. Like they were able to beat the Jaguars. They got a fumble recovery, whatever it was you said. They had a very, very good close game against the Bengals when I can't remember, but I assume you thought the Bengals were going to kind of roll right through them, not roll, but have an easier, maybe like an actual like clear-cut win against the Chiefs. Yeah, a clear-cut win against the Chiefs at minimum, right? And look what happened, right? These guys, Chris Jones really stood up in when it mattered. Mahomes on one fucking leg really made the difference,
If you didn't catch my interview I had with Rusty on Wednesday. Go
Mhm.
ahead and check that out because Rusty
Definitely.
makes a really good point about Bill Belichick and the advantage having a great head coach is because he said, why did he really says that whole play is Zach Taylor's fault? Why did Jones have a free rush at him on such an important third down? And little things like that, those little details that are really
Yeah.
important. I was happy he brought that up because he brought up a good point. Why the hell was that even the scheme they ran on that down with that much on the line? He choked. I really think
Yeah.
the head coach choked, and um, I don't want to say like he choked. The Chiefs didn't win,
Mhm.
but I felt like the Bengals left a lot to be desired, and the Chiefs didn't. Do you know what I
And
mean?
and these are like those aspects of the game that really matter because I did listen to that and he made a really good point. And even you were like, yeah, no, that's true. Bill Belichick is able to really kind of look at the game as a whole and then zero in on certain little details and be like, oh, this right here, this is an important third down. This is an important second down. I
Yeah,
have to do this in order to make my team in order to get my team and myself into a winning position. Zach Taylor kind of fucked up there, like you said, because he was more like what Rusty said, right? Like keep like digging his face in the playbook. Oh, what play should I run next? What should I do this? And by the way, yes, that was a very good interview, Kyle. That was awesome. An hour and like 40
really.
minutes of
Do you
like,
enjoy it?
oh yeah, an hour and like 40 minutes. If you guys really haven't gone to listen to that or watch that, it's very, very entertaining. I didn't think there was anybody as into football as Kyle was, and then Rusty came in and was like, it was just two juggernauts talking to football. So I really appreciated that. Um,
Thanks.
but yeah, but yeah, man, I just like the Eagles. I guess into that sense, like Andy Reid plays a huge part in what the Chiefs do, right? So the Eagles haven't played a guy like Mahomes, and I feel like I've said that a million times already, but it's just facts, you know.
It's a good point.
And
It's a good point that made me
yeah,
scratch my head.
yeah,
But
you know,
I don't know
is
if
that
you
going to
can
be the
throw.
final
I don't
factor?
know. Yeah,
Exactly.
I
Who
don't know
knows?
if
Yeah,
that's like enough to throw the kitchen sink at it and be
yeah,
like inexperience,
yeah.
battle test. I mean, I just feel like you're putting a lot of eggs in this basket, and
Hmm.
the Eagles might come out and not skip a beat, like an
And
old friend you haven't seen in 10 years. Just
yeah,
go out there and run right through the Chiefs, and I think I'm on that side.
and I'm saying this with the fact that we watched this Eagles team put up 31 points against a Niners defense that is so good. And yes, you can point to the fact that their offense was on the field every series for like a minute, right? Like you
Yeah,
can do that, but this defense for the 49ers is really good, and they were able to run all over them. And you could look at the Devontae Smith pass that wasn't a
a
catch
catch.
and look at that, right? Like that was the opening score. Again, another coaching decision, right? Like you and Rusty were talking about that. Those are things that matter. Um, so I just think it's just all aspects of the game that really matter in this. And you're right. I can't just say they have not gone against Mahomes or Burrow or Josh Allen, but they've gone against Rodgers. They've gone against Dak Prescott. They've gone against Kirk Cousins, 2 of 3, which were in the playoffs, by the way, right? So it's not just something like you said to just throw away. But I just at the end of the day, man, I think Mahomes and these guys will step up when the occasion rises, and that's not to say that the Eagles won't either. But at the end of the day, like I think it's the Chiefs on top, hoisting the Lombardi Trophy for the second time in 5 years.
Yeah, and did you? What's your opinion on Patrick Mahomes winning the NFL MVP?
I could see Kelsey winning it if he gets 2 scores. If 2 of those
Oh no,
scores are Kelsey.
for the season, the awards that were given out yesterday.
I mean, I called it, so I'll say that.
You called it. You did call it, and I'll put in the background. You can see he obviously was not an attendant at the game.
Yeah.
This is the video that we saw. I actually
Hmm.
thought he had an opportunity to be calm and really thank everybody he wanted to because there's no pressure of public speaking.
Yeah, in front of everyone.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I thought that yeah, a lot of this is about popularity. And no,
Hmm.
I'm not knocking Mahomes. I'm just saying like they get in line. You
Mhm.
know, like
Yeah.
now Jalen Hurts was snubbed, and next time he plays like he will this year, there'll be some young buck behind him having a
Mhm.
really good year, and then Hurts will win, and then he'll be next. I mean, it's just kind of like this. eh, you can't pick a bad one. You know, like
Yeah. Yeah.
if Hurts won, you can't be like, oh, like, why did Hurts win? Like, I actually felt like Rodgers winning a couple of those times. Yeah, and I'm a huge Rodgers fan, but I was like,
Mhm.
I mean, I was like, yeah, he's probably extremely valuable to his team, but the most valuable, I mean, how do you even pick?
It's hard to weigh a singular player for the entire NFL to win an MVP award. It's
So
difficult.
hard. It's like
Yeah.
it's impossible because I'm like, look, we saw Jalen Hurts miss 3 games and the Eagles went 0-3.
Mhm.
So I mean, you're telling me that, or no, 0-2, but you're telling me that a guy that went, 15-1
Mhm.
as the starting quarterback, and clearly, see, we don't always get these opportunities to see what the team would look like had they not been there. But
Yeah.
we got to see what the Eagles look like in with Gardner Minshew, and they didn't look bad against Dallas, but they were missing a they were missing the spark. They were missing the juice. They were
Yeah.
missing the
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts is the Eagles,
Yep.
and Patrick Mahomes is the Chiefs. But when Patrick Mahomes took a series off, I'm just gonna say, he went on a 98-yard touchdown drive. So
Not getting into that real quick. In the comments, throw in your Super Bowl prediction, your score, and who's gonna win before we get out of here, so we can read them out loud here on the show. Throw them in there, please. Jack saying Philly, easy money, and it's always a morale boost knowing you're playing the best. To your point, like, oh well, more to your question, right? Does a team in your division winning the Super Bowl, does it like kind of give the rest of the division props, right? Knowing you're playing the best, knowing you're playing the Super Bowl winner. Um, that's kind of what Jack's saying, but I don't know. For me, it's whatever. As far as the MVP, you're right. Like Jalen Hurts is Eagles, Mahomes is the Chiefs, but it's I don't know, man. I just feel like sometimes, and I'm a huge person with this, but recency bias. We fall into that quite a bit, right? Like, and I
oh
think
yeah, that's
either
all media is.
whether you're an NFL writer, whether you're a player, whether you're a former player, whether you're someone in media, like we always fall into recency bias. And maybe part of that is just because we don't, I don't want to say very rarely witness greatness, but very rarely do we witness consistent greatness. Like Tom Brady was always consistently great. Aaron Rodgers was consistently great for those years that he won, and now we have Mahomes consistently great, right? Like what was it was in the middle of the season at one point where I was like, Mahomes has like 400 yards and like 3 touchdowns, and nobody bats an eye because we expect that out of Mahomes. At one point, it becomes like, all right, cool. He did it again. Moving on, right? Like it just becomes that. So I love that he won it.
It's like Kobe
And
dropping 50.
yeah, Kobe, just these consistently great players doing that um um in these major league sports that we really kind of take for granted when you really think about it, right? Like these guys are putting their bodies on the line, putting up stupid stats,
I
putting
will
up great scores. So it's awesome.
I will say, like, I try not to take it for granted because I always like to appreciate while I'm watching it. I always keep in mind, like, hey, one day they won't be here anymore, and I really try to soak in the moment.
Brady,
But I
Breeze, Manning.
honestly, you're gonna hate this. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback ever, but I do think he throws the prettiest ball I've ever seen. Just the way it like leaves
You
his
said that,
hand.
yeah. Hmm.
It's weird. Like I'm gonna miss that when he's gone. Just
Hmm.
watching him throw, just
Yeah.
the way he does it. I mean, just the effortless spiral. That Dallas game that he hit his tight end on that long third down on the sideline. I don't know if you remember that one, but it was like
I think so, yeah.
it was
Unfortunately, I do
a,
remember that.
a dart. But yeah, I'm excited to live stream this game. I'm
Oh
excited
yeah.
to to sit next to you and watch. And I'm kind of happy that we kind of got different sides going here. You're going to go with the Chiefs. And
Mm-hmm.
honestly, you bring up a lot of, I would say, all solid points that have the makeup for a really great game. And even on the NFL app or website, whatever you use, they have the game theory probability score projection. They're
Mm-hmm.
saying Chiefs win 28-26.
Oh wow.
And they're betting on I also think now that betting's legal that they have like sites purposely do this so that money comes in on the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds super conspiracy of me, but I I really think like it does the betting, and there's a lot of money in sports betting.
Oh yeah.
I think it does them no good for everyone to all agree on one team. Like it's like
Yeah.
no
It's
money's coming
tough.
in on the Chiefs.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. And we have to get our hands on the script for the Super Bowl, by the way. So once we get our hands on that, we will let you know who will actually win. We'll still be
I already
excited for the
told you.
game.
I have it right here. Look.
Oh, there it is. There it is. 37-34 Eagles. Kyle got his hand on the script.
Look, it even says
Um,
the date. It says
okay.
the stadium, like the box score. I told you.
Oh,
And
this is great. This
yeah,
is
no,
great.
this was leaked on Reddit. I'm not supposed to have this.
Yeah, we actually got Tyler now. Hey, Tyler, cheers into
What's
the
up,
show.
Tyler?
What's up, Tyler?
Welcome.
He said, "Sup, boys? Mahomes all day on Sunday. Eagles defense getting exposed on Sunday night. So at least now we
Wow.
know Tyler's got the
Yeah.
the Chiefs. Tyler's got the Chiefs going, winning the Super Bowl.
That's a bold move, Cotton. We'll see if that plays out for
See if
him.
that plays out, God. All right, man. Well, that was our Super Bowl episode. Kyle, did you have anything else before we start the outro here?
That's all I got. I'll just say, guys, be ready because we're going to have something special for you on Sunday. And I think you're really going to like it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's gonna be fun. If you guys enjoyed our what was it? It was a Chiefs Bengals live stream. You guys are
Yeah.
really gonna enjoy the actual Super Bowl live stream. So we got Bill here. He's saying, true to form, I show up at the very end of the show. Hey, Bill, we still love you. Cheers. We appreciate you showing up.
Thanks for coming, Bill.
Yeah, but definitely rewind and listen to this episode, Bill, because I think you'll be very entertained. But like Kyle said, again, tune in Sunday. We're gonna have the live stream. We're gonna try to figure something out for the commercials for the halftime show. We'll see what we do. Me and Kyle will talk it out, and we'll let you guys know all during the live stream what's gonna happen. But it's gonna be an entertaining one. It's gonna be another fun one for us.
I'm
Kyle and
bringing
I
the
always have a
trivia
great
cards.
time. Yeah, there we go. We'll bring some trivia cards. We'll figure some shit out. But hopefully you guys enjoyed our predictions.
Hot wing
Bill.
eating contest.
Oh, that's actually a good one. Bill, you weren't here, but I've got the Chiefs winning 30-27. You're gonna have to rewind a little bit to see my quarter by quarter breakdown. And Kyle, what did you have again?
I got the Eagles over the Chiefs, and I have the script here. The NFL accidentally leaked it out. 37-34.
There you go.
But the Chiefs do get off to a 10-0 first quarter.
There you
but
go.
The Eagles end up winning by 3.
Kyle's got the script. NFL scripted.
Take the over.
Take the over. Take the over for sure. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. What'd you say?
71 points are going to be
71 points. Ooh, okay. I like it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the episode. You can follow me at and now Rick on Twitter. And you could follow our Star 6 Media Twitter page at _Star 6 Media. Kyle, we're going to follow you.
You can follow me at FTBLONLYPODCAS. T only football podcast, but it's spelled football only podcast.
You couldn't get the other one copyrighted.
I couldn't, man. I tried. Yeah. I don't even know who these people are. They don't even upload anything. It's like, come on, man. Let's make a deal.
Gotta give them $5.
I'll just ask them, please, and then I'll just like send this.
Like, come on. Of a dog with a smile on its face. I love it.
Please.
Other than that, follow us on all the other social medias that we have. You can follow us at Star6 Media on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, and Facebook. We're trying to get to 1,000 followers across all platforms. So, we're over 200, by the way. Thank you guys, everyone on YouTube. Really, thank you guys for getting us over 200 subs. Incredible feeling to get over 200. I felt like 100 was like a huge hump to get over, and we're at 200 now within like the first 5 months of Star 6 Media being a thing. So that's awesome. We really appreciate you guys being here, especially our little community here at Only Football. But definitely go check out the other podcasts: EAFP, JCA Sports, 3 Up 3 Down, Sports Strip Live, and Slot Shot, where Rusty's from, which Kyle interviewed on Wednesday. He's from Slot Shot NHL podcast. So go definitely check out all those other shows. But Kyle, you got the little chives to end the show here.
Did you guys know that nobody ever gets paid for the Super Bowl halftime performance because of the publicity that it performs for the artist?
Wow, really?
Yeah, nobody's ever been paid to perform. It's just there's so much publicity. We talked about it. 400 million people watching it that they don't actually pay anybody. So there are your chives for today. Rihanna gets no money, but she'll probably get 1 million downloads after
yeah. Oh, she'll get some money some way for sure.
Yeah.
Bill
if
saying
it's
congrats,
free,
guys.
You're the product. Remember that, guys.
All right. Thanks to Bill, Tyler, Jack, Philly Sports Talk, and our boy Jinja for hopping in the chat today with us. Again, we will see you guys Super Bowl Sunday, baby. We will see you guys Super Bowl Sunday, 2 days.
2 days.
Kyle, is always a great time, man.
Yeah, same here. I'll see you soon, man.
See ya.